less yoga teacher, getting closer towards pirate, I feel like. I don't know. At least it still looks good. I think that's the moral, viewers. Today, we're doing something a little bit more podcasty. Run the intro. Welcome back to Glory Hunter with me, DoctorBenjyFM. It is a lovely time to see you here with me right now. I hope I find you very, very well. So we are playing Granada and Atletico Madrid off the back of the games that we saw recently against Sevilla and Pontevedra. Yeah, that's nailed that, Ben. Sort of, not really. But yeah, they're the two games that we've selected for today, and we play them very, very close together. And I'm going to be talking through them. I'm not going to edit this at all. It's just going to be podcasty, as I say. And yeah, we're going to go all the way through and hopefully have a lot of fun with it. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. We're all going to enjoy it, viewers. As yeah, we talked through our decision making a little bit more than we would in some of the other episodes. Interestingly, I didn't upload a video yesterday for Glory Hunter. I just had one of those days, and it's interesting that I'm going to mention this in the video because I wouldn't ordinarily, but I had one of those days where I just wasn't feeling it, you know, and I don't have those very often, but, you know, I had what I'd like to call a little bit of a mental health day and just took my mind out of things a little bit and refresh myself, and you know what, I feel better for it. So here we go then, let's kick things off with Granada and Atletico Madrid, as it should be two tough games. So you look at where Granada are in the league. Of course, we played them relatively recently. They are still in 6th position. Our goal difference is far superior. Of course, it's a cup game, but focusing on where they are in the league gives us an idea of how big the challenge might be. Diallo continues to be an absolute superstar for us, and hopefully we see a little bit more of that today. After that, again, it's Atletico Madrid. You've got to say, credit to that front, that top three. There's a reason they're called the top three in Spain. They are running away with the league. Once again, they're the only contenders in this, really. After 23 games, we are well and truly out of that discussion. But still in the discussion, maybe, for that 4th spot, if we can maybe get upset Atletico later on and then pull ourselves closer to Sociedad. It's not over, but it's not likely. And again, that 5th position is where we want to be, really. Europa League again next year, in case we don't do it as a bit of a fallback. It's handy to have there. And of course, next episode, we'll focus on some of that Europa League action. But let's go ahead then into this game. And I've been playing around a lot with the tactic this year and this season, and not really figured out what I want to do with them. It's never quite settled. Like, getting more out of the wide players has definitely been a factor for me. The fact that Dell is forever injured in these episodes is a real shame, because he's a star on that side, and I've not really got a player to play there instead of him. And in the summer, in the January period, I didn't really see anyone that was value for money that I could bring in and play in that position. Of course, we've tried Pedro in a number of different roles, whether that be Trequartista. What we're going to do today, though, is play him out on that side and play him as the Trequartista role, playing in the forward areas. I like having him and Diallo as a bit of a partnership up top. Sometimes these red squares, I don't really care about, to be honest. There's not anyone focusing in that particular area. I'd be more concerned if it was any of these areas down here, and it's not, though, so I think I'm going to be fine with it. Diallo's form has been the highlight. Like, I was surprised, to be honest, when he's come in, that he's been I thought he'd be the main man, but I didn't think he'd have a goal record like he has. 13 and 21 is by far his best season as a footballer. So, I mean, that's pretty good going for him. And we're relying heavily on his goals. Omar behind, of course, has been fantastic. Zeno is very on and off. Biaz is in a really good run of form, and I hope that Zeno, at some point, or Zinho, that some might call him, has a run of form that we can rely on. These two in the centre, Gutierrez and Aquino, have finally now got to know each other to a level where they can play comfortably together. It's weird having regions that are like 27, 28, because, like, ordinarily you think of the regions as the young players coming through, but we've got a lot of sort of elder statesmen regions, especially in this side. Some of my most experienced players in our regions, so it's always interesting to see how they coexist with, of course, the real life players, as well as the new regions that are coming through as youth players. Like Shoughton now, 25 years of age, he's one of the most experienced players in the side, viewers. Hopefully we see a good performance out of the back line. And now Vargas and Zeno have played together so often, they've got a bit of a connection as well. And I think those connections, especially in sides that you're new within, are really important, especially when it comes to building a tactic for later seasons. I've always thought that's key, because then you can sort of think, right, those two are actually really good together, and you can stick with them. And actually the seasons that they've had, they've been solid without being fantastic. And it might be a situation that if I was ever to sell Zeno, I'd probably think, actually at right back, maybe we can afford to make a change as well. It's interesting how I tend to, I don't really talk about it often, actually. I do pair up players quite often in my mind and see if they work. Like I had that with Barella and SMS at Inter Milan. Like, I thought they were very much a partnership, and if one of them got injured, I'd always worry about the other one. And I think about that especially when selling players as well. I like to try and bring in partnerships quite often too. Like getting two players of Leipzig from Leipzig is not a particularly good example, but I don't know, maybe the fact they've got a little bit of friendship is helping them. I'd like to think so anyway, viewers. Let's get into this one though. We're playing as Granada in the cup. Barcelona face Real Madrid. We talked about it when we did the draw. It's a fantastic draw for us, isn't it? I mean, delighted for us to have those two, or one of them, be knocked out before we even get to the semi-finals. That's what we're talking about. As you can see, their side then playing sort of position for position. It's funny because Football Manager, and I don't think I've ever spoken about this in a video. Football Manager got rid of a position a few years ago because it was crazy to exploit the position. I would love to see it come back as we go further forward. I don't know why they got rid of it. I'll show you it on the tactics board. We'll just quickly play here while we're here. They got rid of the position that used to be there. You might remember that you used to be able to play sort of 4 across the front, and it left a couple of years ago. Why? Can we have it back? You used to be able to do some really fun, creative stuff. Like you could have players right up on these sides and then not even play a striker. Some really cool strikerless formations. But again, it was a little bit exploitative, and I wonder if that's why. Anyway, let's go with the game, Ben. I just miss it, and I think because basically what I'd like to do is maybe play Pedro in that sort of role, so he hangs a little bit wider, isn't quite as close to Diallo. And it just means he's slightly pushed up further than the wingers are. I will say the wingers and the inside forwards on attack duties do tend to sit in those areas anyway, but I don't know, visually, I just quite liked it. And I've always wondered if they'll ever bring in a tactics board. I don't think they will, because I think it'll break the engine, where it's just free roam. And I think that would be exciting, probably terrible, but still exciting, if you could really position players exactly where you want them. But again, I think at that point, you probably end up having people create some really overpowered things, exploiting the match engine. So with that in mind, probably why it doesn't exist. Anyway, we're on the ball. Sanchez on that side, Mr. Reliable out there. Ball played in towards Zeno, headed away. Of course, the cup is something we really want, so we'll try and focus on this game. In fact, what I'm going to do, viewers, it's been a little while, we're going to go back to 2D for it. It's a regulation size pitch, but it does give us a slightly better idea of what's going on down below as Shoughton brings it forward. It's a podcast episode, so Shoughton is said Shoughton without shouting, if that makes sense. No shouting of Shoughton. I've had some really cool shirt designs sent in for Shoughton as well. We might have to show some in the video soon. As again, you can see us keep the ball nicely. This, shape-wise, it's interesting just how much Pedro sits alongside Diallo, and I know technically he is sitting alongside Diallo, but when we're in possession, I want to see him drop a little more, and I don't necessarily think, I could be wrong, I don't necessarily think there's anything to make him go. Maybe staying wider is probably the one to do. Hold up the ball, not so much, but staying that little bit wider will maybe give us what we want from that role. And I guess we'll stay tuned to find out if that happens, as Oblak saves from a decent chance for them. Again, I've played in 2D. It's very much like, because I've played for a certain amount of time, I think a lot of new players play in 3D, a lot of the older guards play in 2D, as Omar goes, it's a little bit slow, isn't it? Should we speed that up just a touch? Because it's sort of what we've always known, but I do genuinely think it's a way to see what you're tactically doing far better. Again, sometimes not in video, very rarely in videos, because I don't want videos to go on for a long time. Will I watch games in comprehensive in videos? In fact, I never will. But away from that, sometimes I watch in comprehensive or extended, and I'll watch patterns of play. What I've noticed actually, I've been watching quite a lot of people stream Football Manager. A lot of people this year using the sideline camera view. Like a lot of people using the sideline camera view. Not something I've used at all, actually. I'm very much a TV guy if we're going to 3D. Again, it's not that dissimilar actually to 2D. It's probably closer to 2D than it is some of the 3D angles, because of the way that the players look a lot smaller. And again, you can kind of see shapes and play develop. Let me know, if you do use 3D, what camera angle are you using? Anyway, back into this. I'm genuinely curious. Are you just a TV guy, or are you a 3D guy? Yeah, I'm very interested. Comment the comments. Quick comment question of the day, viewers. You can tell it's a podcast. Email in at podcast@benji@gmail.com. No, it's not a thing. Right, happy with performance? No, not really. 0-0, half time. See nothing. Far from pleased, actually, as I want to see us do a little bit more in the game as we step away from the sideline view. Go back to 2D Classic. Free kick played in, and that's not good. We've had a situation like this before, actually, where we were 1-0 down in the cup game. I think it was at Leipzig in a podcasty episode, and obviously that's not what we want to see. Now, ordinarily, when I try one of these experiments and play someone out wide and it doesn't work, that's the first thing to go. The fact that Zeno, and I don't think Bogdanovic can play there either, no, on that left-hand side, would maybe be the move. Brian can kind of play there. That's probably like an inside forward, inverted winger inside forwards. And I think that's going to be my move. Because I think pace-wise, he's got a little bit more to offer on that side. I don't know. I've never played in there before, viewers. So we're gambling a little bit. But yeah, Pedro is the man to bite the bullet. Again, Zeno on a 6.3. Oh, very, very frustrating player, as, Brian's done brilliantly to win the ball back, and now he's racing forward, and he's got Zeno over on that side. Maybe the balance for us is slightly better. Brian there, an incredible run. You would have wanted him to pass it, wouldn't you, viewers? Yeah, me too. Didn't happen. There's nearly an hour on the clock as the corner's played in. Diallo's there. And that is the man that we can rely on this year. 23 goals in all the competitions. He's having quite the year. Aquino with a great corner towards the back post. And there's Diallo to head home. Mr. Reliable in this side. As I mean, the players on post do very little. The thing is, right, when you see goals or highlights from corners, they do very little. I would imagine in all the other highlights, they're probably quite important. But every time you tend to see them, especially in key highlights, they're doing nothing, viewers. As Zeno on a 6.3, I think he just picked up a booking as well. If he doesn't impress me in this highlight, I think Bogdanovic may be the guy to come on. As Shelton's on it, plays it across to Sanchez, Gutierrez towards Brian, who so far has come on, and look at him go. He really looks up for it. This is the problem with Pedro. Physically, nowhere near the level of someone like Brian. He's just not quick enough, and that's maybe why it didn't work out for him over at Atletico. As Zeno's going to come off, Bogdanovic is going to come on. Very pacey, very dangerous. Maybe I'll make him more attacking. I don't know. Diallo, deep free kick. Very good free kick taking as that is fired in. And the keeper does really well to deal with that. We've got a lot of players at the back here. So, yeah, that to me looks foolish, especially when we control the ball so comfortably. They've given it back to us as we go all the way back to our Black, who's been better. Actually, we started the season and I did think he was going to be our main guy. And Rios wasn't going to get a look in. He then had a few games where he wasn't particularly good. As Diallo's in, we'll go back to talking about it. Diallo goes close. Yeah, and he's come back into the side. He's actually been pretty good, really consistent. So, I mean, credit to him. We went on a run of not losing for a long time, and he was a big part of that. So, I give him the credit. Maybe sometimes you've got to drop these experienced keepers as the time whistled away there. Blimey. Very, very quickly. I think that the change to make is he's having a decent game, but not a great one, is Akiza, coming on. I just want to say Azurka for some reason, but so many Zs in this team. It feels like Gutierrez, Zeno. Is it a replay? No, it's extra time. Okay, we go a little bit further then. I'm happy with the performance. I don't know. It's time for everyone to dig in. They like that. Just thinking, is there another change? There may be one in midfield, but everyone's playing. At this point, no one's playing really badly, but equally no one is particularly standing out. I mean, Gutierrez is on 7.4, and he's the one struggling with his fitness. But I'm going to persevere because you look over the other side. Granada equally really struggling. We've not done any shouts in this game either. That's a bit of an oversight by me, but sometimes that just happens, especially when you're talking through things. As the further this goes, gang, the more likely this is to go to penalties. As you notice there, Real Madrid have knocked out Barcelona. And wow, I mean, what are the odds, viewers? I guess we get the fourth change. You don't get a fourth one. Oh no, viewers. It's a disaster of epic proportions. All right, we are down to 10 men. You do not get a fourth sub in the Spanish Cup. Well, that is news to me, gang. As down to 10 men, slightly more balanced might be the approach. We may well still get the goal. Brian's a danger, Diallo's a danger. As Brian back to Akiza, Diallo looks offside to me. I think he is. Yeah, sorry, it's offside. I think he was called offside before he put it in. He still went for it though. As yeah, there we go. Granada 1, Valencia 1. As I think, I said it before, I went behind in the game with Leipzig and then we fought back and won it. I think we even won it in extra time. Is history about to repeat itself? As again, I'll demand a little bit more from the boys. There's not long left, as it's going to go to a penalty shootout. Well, I never. As I'm looking at our penalty takers, viewers. We might not win this. I don't feel very good about it. As I've just put Shelton on a penalty, viewers. Is he going to step up here? He will do. Brian, I guess, has to be on them. Probably instead of Shelton. Right, we need Oblak to go massive. The fact he's our best penalty taker. Yeah, he's our best penalty taker. Oh, that is worrying, viewers. I need to put him high. I'm going to have to put him at the top of the list, aren't I? Oh, no, viewers. This is a bit of a disaster. Right. Jan Oblak's going to step up first and hopefully give us a chance. We'll put it into director cam. We'll get some 3D on the go. It's Jan Oblak to give us the lead in the shootout, and he does. Good. Keepers are good at penalties this year. My streams, I've been playing keepers on penalties a lot. And now it's down to them, and Oblak scores but can't keep it out. And it goes back to 1-1, and this could go on like this for a while now. As penalties generally do, it's back and forth, back and forth. Aquino stepping up, got to score, and fired it down the middle. Keeper sent in a direction, which is enough, isn't it? I mean, we'll take that. And here we go again, viewers. Osipov shoots and scores. Well, do you know what there, viewers? We witnessed it. Oblak made a really good dive attempt, which is not always like him. 2-2 though, and Diallo with a big chance as he slots over in down the middle. The keeper keeps diving, we keep just slotting it in, and it gives Oblak another chance. We've got the advantage right now. Can we keep it, or at least have our own big advantage? Oh my goodness me. Fired down the middle, at pace to be fair, and Oblak couldn't stop it. Now, Akiza, very technical player, not a penalty taker. None of them are. But can he score the goal? He can. These penalties, for players that aren't good at penalties, have been really, really good. Again, another chance. You've got to think, if we just save this one, we get a chance to win it. Oh, Black, he can't get there. I'm so worried, viewers. Right, here we go. Brian to step up, the beautifully named Brian. He came on, he did well, got booked, and has still scored. And now, Jan Black has the chance to become a hero and send us through to the semi-finals of the Spanish Cup, a cup competition that I still need in the Glory Hunter Challenge. And actually, despite this being a podcast episode, this is quite a big moment in the context of the whole save, as Ramadani, viewers, please, come on Jan, do it. Please save it. Director Cam, can he do it? Oh, he's missed it, he's in the post, the boys are celebrating. We were running towards their goalkeeper, which I felt was a little bit antagonistic, but we'll take it. A penalty shootout victory, and with 10 men towards the end there, we hung on, and then are victorious on penalties. Fantastic news, that's what you like to see, and a little bit of cup success. There we go. Madrid go through, as do Sociedad, as do Cadiz. Now, let's face it, viewers, there's a team there I would like to face in the next game, as Gutierrez had a gashed lower leg. We could have bandaged that up, I think, and had him carry on playing, but no, he came off. And in the end, it didn't really matter. Lincoln Park, viewers. Right, let's move on. He wants a new contract with Velez. He's on 100 grand already, and he's got 3 years left on his deal. So, I'll discuss it with him, but I don't really, you've got plenty of time, mate. No. I won't be intimidated here. I've not heard the last of it, viewers. Can I offer him a contract now and just make him happy immediately before he gets? Yeah, I can. Right. See how I've bucketed. Now he wants viewers. He wants a massive wage rise. I'll offer you 130, and we'll leave together. We'll be happy. He's not exactly loving that, viewers, as there's a lot of. I brought him down by 80 grand, and he's just stuck all that in. And I'm just going to say yeah. And he's going to say 8.5 million loyalty bonus, and I'm going to say no, my friend, that is outrageous. 80,000 on the appearance fees, you're getting your 120 now. That, to me, look, I'm not happy about it, but you are our best defender, so I feel like I've been conned a bit there, viewers. He's just gone straight in at 210. He's got an increase in his contract. I guess we'll see how we go. Are these two boys going to miss the cup game, or are they suspended for the domestic games? They are. Well, one of them is. Actually, Sanchez is suspended for the domestic game next. Coming up, as the defence now are gutted. Why are you unhappy? What's wrong with you? 5 negatives. Wants a new deal as well. Oh, goodness me, viewers. Right, okay, fine. You're actually quite a good player. 30k a week, right. Manageable. I don't feel like I've been conned quite so much in that one. Right. Atletico Madrid. Not an expert way of how to do contract negotiations, viewers. Just to let you know, as we play Atletico next. The cup draw is just before that game, which is nice to see. Right, okay. Here we go, flicking through a few things. They're delighted with our progression. We're challenging for silverware. They've decided now at a semi-final stage, we are indeed challenging for silverware. They want me to qualify for the Champions League this season. I think they might end up disappointed, viewers, especially after this game when they realise that probably isn't going to happen. I thought they wanted Europa League, so this is a shock to my system, viewers. I now wonder maybe I changed it in January, just in a sort of moment of blind excitement, as please don't be us, please be it's us, isn't it? Right, okay, away against Real Madrid. Although, is it 2 legs? I feel like it might be 2 legs. I guess we'll see. Is it 2 legs? The first leg, yeah. So we play them over 2 legs now. And the first of which is very, 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 very soon. We won't do it today. We'll focus on the second leg. We might have to do a Real Madrid double. I don't know, viewers. Oh God, what a conundrum. Okay, we'll figure it out in March. I think it'll be a Real Madrid double as we play them. That's quite I'm looking there, viewers. That's quite the run of fixtures. We've got to play Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Villarreal, Barcelona, Espanyol, Real Madrid, and then some unknown side in the knockout stages of the Europa League, which again could be very, very difficult. Could be quite easy, but could be very, very difficult. The reality is they're going to have to be a side that are going through, so they're probably going to be one of the teams that have dropped out of the Champions League. One of those sides could well be Leipzig. So something to look forward to, isn't it? Third in the table there, Atletico. A few years ago in the save were actually very, very good. They were probably one of the more dominant sides in the division. And in more recent years, if you take a look at it, you can see Real Madrid and Barcelona definitely back on top. But early on, you can see there 3 or 4 back-to-back titles. Of course, we had a chance at one point to maybe go there, and it never really materialised. In another universe, maybe it would have done, and maybe we would have gone there. But I think they were memory serving. It's a long time ago in the game, and it's literally months ago now in real life. But I think they rejected me. The more I think they went with Conte, did they? Was that the situation? It's a bit of a blur, viewers. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. But let's pretend they rejected me, and now let's try and get a little bit of revenge on them. Yes, that's the way to go about this, I think. They're third, we're fifth, and yeah, it's one of those games. The board are expecting Champions League places. I shake my head at it, viewers, because I don't think it's going to happen. This is a bit like, if we beat them here, though, yeah, sure, we're on for it. We'll write about it, by all means, as Madrid win their game against Granada. As again, I said it in a video recently, right? These fixture situations. Of course, again, I could do it Saturday, Wednesday. It does make it, like, admittedly, I know a lot about La Liga. I'm learning about the division, and I'm learning about the players that play for the teams, because I'm seeing a lot of it as, this is a situation. Actually, I said it's a situation. It's quite straightforward. Jose Carlos is going to come in at left back. He's not very good. He's quite athletic. He's got good concentration, good decisions, and actually in a defender, that's pretty good, considering he's not particularly technically gifted in terms of defending and those mental attributes. Not too bad. And then, yeah, he's an obvious move again. Braganca comes in for Gutierrez in the centre, and then he obviously drops out for Molina. Is usually the right choice. Right then, Roman is getting there as well. We will see more of him at some point. He might be the problem to my left-sided issue. 16 years of age. I genuinely think he'll be a top, maybe a top 20 player in the world. I know it sounds ambitious, but I think it could happen. The rest of the side, then rest of the bench is looking. See, I've just realised the Brian situation, right? With Pedro, I think having the pace out there is important, and actually it mirrors closer to what we have with Dell. His injuries are becoming a bit of an issue. He's had quite a few now, and I feel like they're not stopping. Like, I think since we brought him in, this is his third injury. And he's missing, the thing is, right, he's missing maybe 1 to 2 games, like a European game as well as a league game. But then you've got him not fit, so then he ends up missing 3 games. So over the course of this now, he's probably missed 12 games or something like that. And for a player that's actually been doing really well, especially in terms of statistics, it's a bit of a blow every single time. Here we are then. Atletico Madrid won 4 of their last 5. Hopefully we can deny them of that. And we seem motivated by the idea of them being good, which I like. Hopefully you're up for the challenge. I've got faith in all the boys. The team's all there to come pretty much as well as it can do, right? As well as it can do. The boys are walking out. It's really nice, by the way, that because obviously this isn't normally my style of video. I'm a lot more energetic. I've got 2. Basically, I feel like I've got 2 strings to my bow. I could probably do the more sort of chatty talk-along videos like this, where we go into more depth and talk about things on a slightly deeper level. But I like to have, basically, I take Football Manager as a game, and I like to have fun with the game. And me being quite excited about it is the way I like to enjoy it. But there's definitely scope for this. And again, I mentioned at the start of the video, after the day I had yesterday, I just feel like chilling out with you and relaxing, and knowing that I get the opportunity to chat with you at 5 o'clock every day in your living room or your desktop or your bedroom, or desktop's not a place, Ben, but you know what I mean. It's just lovely, and yeah, basically thank you for giving me the opportunity, because you could choose to watch a lot of people on YouTube, and you choose to watch me most days. I think if you're still at this point in the series, you're watching a lot, as he's done it again, viewers. Sekou Diallo has got himself another goal 35 minutes ago. It's our first shot on target. We've seen nothing in terms of highlights other than the fact we can see that Atletico appear pretty dominant. So to round off my lovely speech of thank you for watching, I appreciate it a lot, Diallo, well, he's gifted us all a goal, and it's a loving, viewers. It's a Football Manager loving right now. As lovely stuff. And I think, I don't know, I want to say it, so I'm going to say it. And again, it's a bit more podcasty, that if you ever feel like you're having days where, and it's something I've mentioned in a video on mental health a while ago, that it was important for me in my life to realise that a bad day doesn't mean I've got a bad life. And it's okay to have a bad day sometimes. And the day that I've had, sort of over the last 24 hours, just felt like one of those. Is that staying out? Yeah, still, okay, good day maybe. But no, it just felt like one of those sort of bad days, life gets you down days. And I think as long as you can realise and separate that from sort of your everyday life, then it's a lot easier to comprehend. And as long as you, and then like if you find yourselves having good days, then you should almost make a note of that. And I tend to do that as someone that went through something years ago and is finding my way out of it. It's really helped me. So maybe that gives someone some comfort, and if it gives one person a little bit of hope, then, you know, I feel like job done. Anyway, team talk. We've got to get to the dressing room, as they're waiting for me, and there I am talking about mental health. Right, passionately say, pleased with how things are going, keep it up, and away we go. But I bring it up actually because in the last few weeks, especially with lockdown and everything that's going on with that, I've had quite a lot of emails from people that say they find a lot of comfort in the videos, and it's a very humbling experience hearing that from so many people. So if you are someone that's reached out, I appreciate it, whether it be on Twitter or anywhere else. It's really nice. I like that we can talk like this sometimes. This is good. And what's nice about it actually is that I feel like some creators have relationships with their audience where they feel like they can't talk about things like this, and they've got to play the character and play the role the whole time. And I feel comfortable enough to sit here and largely be myself. And I think both versions of me, I mentioned the excited version of me and this version of me, they're the same person, but they're just dialed slightly differently depending on what we're doing. If you tune into the radio and the person on the radio was like, welcome back to the radio, oh, good to see you, you'd be a bit like, oh, this is not what I expected from a presenter standpoint. I realise there's 20 minutes left and I'm sort of fluking my way into a 1-0 victory against Atletico Madrid. Paulinho's going to come on for Vargas, who is really struggling at the back, it seems. Defensively, you've been a lot stronger. Again, we're playing the fullbacks or the wing-backs on defensive duties. It certainly suits Jose Carlos to be doing that. And again, it's made us a lot more difficult to beat, which I think has been a key aspect of everything. I feel like I want to round off what I was saying. Basically, I'll just say again, thank you for watching. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come into your lives every day. And yeah, it means a lot. As Zeno, I mean, make my day. Brian, what's he done? I don't know how he's missed. It was hard to miss, Brian. Just kick it hard at the goal and it'll go in most of the time. Oh, if we don't win the game now, Brian is going to... Well, me and Brian have already fallen out based on that, but he might have a chance to redeem himself as we're forward again. Back to Paulinho as the ball is cleared away and we are not particularly defensive at the back. And now Atletico, I think this is not good, viewers. They played a 1-2 as well. That was very cheeky. Great save from our Black, who there... didn't look like he had any physical issues, as we're going to go defensive rather than positive. Time is ticking away though. Demand more. I want to make another change, really. I guess we'll see how this highlight goes. Diallo, use your pace, mate. Away he goes. Come on now. Let's see maybe a second goal for us, and then we can absolutely relax. As ball across again. Aquino's in on goal. Saved. Over it goes. I'm going to get Omar off and bring on Molina and just sit him in the middle here. Extra defensive body. In fact, maybe these two swapping around will be the way to go. And just a supportive central midfielder. Right, maybe I could put him defensive, but there again, taking the opportunity here to steal a victory away from Atletico Madrid and round off what will be a really good episode if we can carry on like this. As Omar's got himself a tactical foul, we'll call it. Time's ticking away. I'm going to go very defensive. Limit opportunities, don't even push forward. Create that defensive line, go a little bit Italian, and come away from Atletico Madrid with a 1-0 win. Sometimes it is possible, viewers, and I'm delighted about that. Lovely jubbly. That's what you want to see. 2 wins, back to back, massive episode, and done calmly, viewers. And again, I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll definitely do some more of these as well. I'll try and splice in one of these and a bit more of a lively episode, but the Newcastle series has been doing really well recently. So yeah, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to that too. So that's going to wrap things up here. A really good win, 3 points off the Champions League. Maybe the board now are getting a little bit more excited. Top Vision happy now? No, still disappointed in me. That's going to conclude it then. If you've enjoyed it, please drop a like on it. Leave comments on any of the things I've said if you'd like to. And yeah, I've got a Discord, I've got a Twitter, I've got an Instagram, I've got a Twitch. You know about the Twitch. And I'll see you again soon. We'll have with care. Until next time. Goodbye. Have a good day. I thought I'd mention this at the very end. The mic quality wasn't as it normally is. I'm sorry about that. I had to use my camera audio, but I still felt like the audio was probably good enough for the video. Yeah, I don't want to mention it at the start. The placebo of knowing that the audio is not as good will make you not enjoy it as much. That's what I've made up. And at least now I think you'll probably enjoy my mic quality better. So everyone wins.